Hey, check this beat out. So I use the word beat there. Might be a bit of a different way of using that word than you're used to. When I say beat, I mean a song. Actually, the word beat really refers to songs that are in modern genres that are driven by beats, by drum beats. But when someone says they're making a beat, they're not talking about just the drums, they're talking about the whole track, which is the next term for a song, track. Track and song are essentially interchangeable. When you finished a song, you finished a track. Even though we looked at, we have these single tracks here, like this is a track, these are tracks, this is a track, but the colloquial term is to call the song a track, also a record or a composition or a piece. These are all different terms for a single song, and what we're looking at today is the elements of a song, or the elements of a beat as I have it called here. So I often refer to songs I make as beats just because it's a fun word to say. So this is a little beat I made. It's not a full song, of course, but it's a little loop. And I want to talk about kind of the parts of it briefly. So we covered a little bit of this before, but let's just recap. At the top we have the melody, which is this. Then we have the chords. Then some bass. And then drums. And then percussion. And we have some effects here at the end. Just that. And these are like the main parts that make up most modern music. That's melody, chords, bass, drums and percussion, and then effects, or ear candy, as sometimes it's called. Just interesting sounding things to kind of spice up the song a little bit and make it more interesting. And though these are the most common elements, that doesn't mean they're always all required. You don't always need to have melody, chords, bass, drums, and effects, though at the loudest part of your song, or the biggest part, or the main part of the song, of the track, of the beat, you probably will have all these things. And it can be good to have them in the back of your mind as a checklist. Do I have chords? Do I have bass? Do I have drums? Do I have a melody? It's a very important one. And is there any kind of special effects going on that kind of enhance the song? And then you can choose to not have them, but at least know that usually those things are there. And without one of them, it may or may not feel a little bit empty. The song may feel like it's incomplete, or the section of the song may feel incomplete. Sometimes we do want less than all the elements at one time, and then it builds up into having all the elements. But in a crucial part of the song, if one of the elements is missing, it may feel a little bit empty or like it's lacking something. And the opposite end of that is busyness, which is having too much going on. If I had like 3 more percussion tracks and another melody on top of this one and some more chord stuff going on and more effects, it would get too busy. We call busy, just means too much going on, and it's distracting to listen to. You don't really know what to focus on. It's not very clear. So in this track, it's quite clear, I think, that the melody is what you should focus on. So let's take one more listen here. And so you can hear the other elements going on, the chords and the bass and all that, but it's really the melody that's drawing attention. And that's kind of what I'm trying to point out here. All of these parts go together, and they all go together to enhance the melody. And the melody is really the main part of the song in this case. So we're going to talk about that in depth shortly. And we're going to start with looking at drums and percussion, and then make our way through the bass and chords, melody writing, and some effects. And then we'll have an idea of how all those parts work together, and after that we can start working on a new track, a new beat. See you then.